And we're clapping, and you can take it away whenever you want, my man.
Slightly sweaty. What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com. Josh Mike, Jay Mike. We're here to talk about ACC all conditions control and whether or not it's actually a thing.
I'm here with the ACC hater.
Hashtag ACC hater.
Hashtag ACC hater, I'm sorry about that. The deal is here that, well, you've made a lot of videos where you've been stating your, should we say, opinion on ACC.
Opinion's fair.
I've also made some videos. I made one with Jota where we talked about that ACC, it kind of works, but it doesn't really do anything.
I saw that video.
And
a lot of people have asked me about it.
Yep.
And it's a completely fair test to do. And I think the results showed something, which I've always argued. I think ACC, for those that don't know, it's Nike's wet control element.
All conditions control.
You only know it's there if it says ACC. But I don't deny that it does at least something.
Yep.
What I am skeptical of is the importance of it and how much of an impact it's actually having.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, they introduced it back in, I think, 2012.
It's been a while now, yeah.
On the Vapor 8 and Jumbo Legend Force and all the stuff back then.
Laser 4, yeah.
Laser Force, yeah. To really give you an extra edge when it comes to playing in the wet. So back then, we all remember boots being really slippery when it gets wet. That's annoying. So they wanted to really introduce, a treatment into the material that made sure it, water just basically slid off and wasn't.
It was never 100% clear on how exactly it achieved what it achieves, but I will say with that initial release, every single one, the Laser, the Tiempo, and the Vapor, they had a legitimately different finish versus the ones that came before that didn't have ACC.
Exactly.
Which is why when you tried it for the first time, everyone said, oh, the other one was the Maestri 3, by the way.
Yep.
You could actually feel that there was something different. Now I don't think that's the case anymore.
But maybe it's because I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. I would love to see what the visions or the mercurials would be like without ACC. I mean,
sure.
We don't have any point of reference. We only had a point of reference back then when we know what the boots were like without ACC. Now we can go to a Vapor 12 Pro that may or may not
have it based on the logo being there, yeah.
What I think here is that ACC, does it turn you into a better player, or does it give you more grip in the wet that you can notice? No. Is it something that, can you prove that it works? Potentially. I mean, we did the test, yeah. We saw that being wet, it had better grip on the ball compared to a boot that didn't have ACC.
Sure.
But is it enough to really notice in a game where there's a lot of stuff going on and you have 1,000 things to worry about? And the boots itself, today there's so much texturing on it. They're so matte, so it doesn't feel sticky at all. I don't know if that's their interpretation of ACC.
Again, and I feel like Nike kind of, the fact that they're not clarifying, I think only helps them in this argument, because so many people have come up with this belief in ACC that it's this kind of miracle technology, when in reality, I just don't think that it is. So for Nike to come out and explain, okay, here is what ACC actually is, maybe that would kind of take away from, I guess, the excitement around it. But then, again, you just talked about texture. Two very different boots texturally, two completely different levels of grip in the dry as well as in the wet. They both have ACC. Why isn't the grip level the same?
Yeah, exactly.
That's always my thing.
And it just dawned on me, maybe that ACC has changed over the years from being some sort of treatment of the relatively, should we say, plain upper materials on the Vapor 8s to this, where the texturing and the texturing of especially the Nike skin that we see on the Phantom Visions, could that be the ACC element in itself? Because it's rather matte, it's rather tacky, and when it gets wet, it prevents the ball from sliding.
Well, you end up with a rough surface where water's not sitting exactly flat on the upper, which is when you're going to have that little bit of slip. But then there's the argument, what if your boots get dirty?
Yeah.
Then dirt is the first point of contact. If the ball's dirty, and if the ball's wet.
But then you have ACC on the ball.
Right? We do have. That's true. That is true. I guess Nike did think of that problem.
I haven't honestly felt a difference between the Merlin and the Ordems.
It's really, honestly, like not even just the ACC part, but the ball itself. They're very, very similar, I would say.
I feel slightly lighter. It's not as heavy and solid as the Ordem, but
Merlin feels to have a more consistent sweet spot, I would say. But then there's also the argument, you've played in wet weather, you've played in dry with ACC. If you wear an Adidas boot, do you notice that you're missing it?
Honestly, not really. And the fun thing is that on the latest Adidas boots, they've kind of dropped NSG, the non-stop grip technology, that were the dots, Messi boots and the X's. It's not there anymore.
And you know what? I'm sure you got a lot of questions about that as well, and the effectiveness of NSG. Credit to Adidas. I mean, I think that was very much a reactionary thing to Nike's ACC tech. But the fact that there was something there you could physically see was either there or not there, regardless of whether or not it was effective. I personally don't think it did much of anything. At least you could see it was there.
Yep.
With ACC, it's really, we're dependent on that logo. If they don't put an ACC logo on this Phantom Vision,
we would probably guess that there was no ACC, right?
Right? Yeah, we wouldn't really have any way to tell. And I guess that's the problem with a technology that is essentially invisible. I mean, it's brilliant marketing by Nike.
Definitely.
They've convinced people of something that nobody can see or feel, that it's this miracle thing that's going to make them play better. But
it's just kind of weird. It's still, what I really struggle to get my head around is that it's there. If you test it, it works. I don't feel a difference, but I think it's fair to completely disregard ACC and say it doesn't work, you don't feel it. It's like saying that you become a better dribbler from having the speed rips. Obviously, you don't. But I would also say that, I would be interesting to see how the boot would feel if there wasn't ACC or speed whips on it.
It would be cool to see how that would change things.
Yeah, and how much worse it would be. I would assume it would be worse, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think that the general consensus here, and I think you'll agree with me on this, is that if you're buying new boots and you're obviously looking at the top price points, if control in wet weather is something that is very important to you, I guess ACC, because it is directly marketed as a wet control element, I wouldn't say there's too much else like it available right now. If you like a Nike boot and it happens to have ACC, consider it a bonus. But don't strictly restrict yourself to Nike just because you want the ACC part, because I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
I agree. And it doesn't really, again, the difference from wearing a pair of Mercurials to a pair of X18 Pluses in wet weather, in terms of grip, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm just gonna say that, if look at the boot, if the boot feels grippy on the upper, don't listen to any of the technologies. If it's grippy, it's probably also gonna be grippy in the wet, and that is what matters.
Okay, quick argument here before we end this video. Wet weather control amongst the entire Nike line, Hypervenom, Phantom Vision, Mercurial, Tiempo, which one offers the best grip in the wet?
Vision.
The Vision.
Yeah.
And then what?
Vapor.
Okay, I agree with that. And then what?
Hypervenom.
Okay, there you go. And then
Tiempo,
Tiempo, it's all different grip levels, all with ACC technology. I think it has so much to do with the finish and the upper material.
I agree.
To me, that's just how it is.
And maybe that's going to be my bold closing claim that ACC these days might just be the texturing of the upper itself.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's no way to prove it. Who knows?
So in conclusion, ACC is whatever you want it to be. Imagination. Anyways, guys, that is the conclusion of the ACC debate. I'll probably make a video in like 2 weeks talking about this again because I get asked about it so much, but this is the general consensus. My opinion, your opinion. I don't think anyone else's opinion really matters if we're being honest with ourselves, but that's what you need to know. If you have any further questions or any other opinions of your own on ACC, leave it down below in the comments. I'm sure somebody's going to be very angry about this whole discussion, but hey, you know what, that's to be expected. If you guys aren't subscribed to Unisport for whatever reason, I don't know who you could possibly be, but please go and subscribe to them. The subscribe button will be right next to Jay Mike's head. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can absolutely go and do that too. It's not as good, but I mean, hey, subscribe, it's pretty good. Leave a like on the video, that would be greatly appreciated. It helps me out tremendously. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.